Yeah, I'm not going to do any writing straight away, but I'm going to discuss cultural differences. So it's a kind of follow-up to the festivals that we were reading about yesterday. Hi there, Roxana. So today I'm going to speak a bit and ask you to tell me about cultural differences. So what I mean is that sometimes if you go to another country to live or work, they might behave in a slightly different way, and you might not do the right thing, and you may cause embarrassment or confusion. So I'll give you one example so that you can understand the kind of thing I'm talking about, and then maybe you can advise me about how to behave in your country and things to watch out for. So I have been living in Hungary because my family are Hungarian. I mean, my married family, my wife and my children. So when I went to Hungary, I noticed that a lot of things are pretty much the same in culture, but there are lots of things which are very different. And these are the things I want us to talk about today. So I want everybody to advise foreigners how to behave in their country when they come and visit. So I will offer one piece of advice to people coming to Hungary. So, Mena, have you got headset? Because I can hear a bit of echo there. And earlier you weren't echoing at all, so it was okay earlier. But right now I can hear a lot of echo. So just watch your sound, please. So I'll just mute you for a minute while you're looking at that, because sometimes it just comes and goes. Okay, thanks. So when you're speaking, just unmute again. All right. So one difference that I can remember that comes to my mind, when I went to Hungary, I was quite confused because I was working in business and going to different offices and meeting people. Now, the first time I met them, there was no problem because there was a lot of handshaking. Hello, 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 introductions all round. And that was just quite normal. I thought that's normal, that's how we would do it in England. But then, the next day, or a few days later, I went back again. And all of the handshaking was repeated again. But I had already gone past one person and didn't shake their hand. And they probably thought I was very cold and not being very friendly. And then later I discovered that one of the differences, one of the cultural differences, is that people tend to shake their hands every day. It's like hello, good morning. The first time you meet a man, not a woman actually, that was interesting. So women didn't do this, but men did. So these are the kind of things I want you to tell me about. I want you to think about those differences and try to make a list of them and explain them to me. So think a bit about that. Think about your country and the way people behave culturally, the behavior. Are you not on the mic, Furkan? Are you not there?
Someone blocked me. in the class.
Oh dear. Be careful, please. I don't know how it happens, but yeah, I've been muted a few times. All right then, so who's going to start us off? Has anybody got any ideas about advice for foreigners visiting your country? Things to watch out for, things to beware of, so that you won't upset somebody or be surprised by those things.
It's hard because in here the cultural thing will change from city to city.
Okay, well just tell me something about a change from city to city then.
Okay. For example, in the east part of Turkey, it's more traditional way is going on compared to the west side of the Turkey, because especially Istanbul is a really cosmopolitan city. You can see people from all around the world and all of the cultural things,
Hello.
other stuff you can see in the different part of the city. So if you are in Istanbul and you went a different part of the city, different neighborhood, you will see different people and different norms and social norms.
Just a minute, can we just let's sort this sound out. So, Merna, can you hear everything that's happening? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Because Furkan's just talking at the moment, but there seems to be a lot of noise behind you. Is there somebody with a TV on or something?
No.
Have you got a headset? Can you put a headset on us, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Furkan, that's interesting. So you're saying that within one country, there's quite a lot of cultural difference there?
Yeah.
I'm from Egypt.
Yeah. Let me just go back to Furkan a moment. He's speaking about cultural differences inside Turkey. So, can you actually identify one particular thing which people might do and misunderstand or get wrong, or any advice that you might give to somebody in particular?
To give an advice, I have to know the other cultures, how
I don't understand
they
you.
do when in some situations, because I don't know exactly what they're doing in particular situations, but probably if you come to a touristic place or something, people will be more tolerated to you and will understand what you're trying to do.
Be more tolerant of you, maybe.
Tolerant, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Does anybody? Let me try Myrna now. Myrna, are you there on the mic? Myrna? Oh dear. Hello. Maybe this is a little difficult, Myrna, for you. Maybe if you can't understand everything, but can you understand what we're speaking about today? What the topic is? Do you know what the topic is today, Myrna? Cultural differences.
Different country.
Yeah, differences between one country and another when you go to visit another country.
Yeah.
And we're advising people about. I want to show you a word on my screen here. I'll show you my screen. I want to show you this word. Faux pas.
Yeah.
Faux pas.
Faux pas. French expression in English. A faux pas. Making a faux pas. Now, there it is. Making a faux pas. Let me expand it. There's a lot of noise in here today. I don't know why. So, it's words or behaviour that are a social mistake or not polite. So in this example, it wasn't anything cultural. It was just not being polite or saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. But sometimes it could be that you just don't understand another country. So what I'd like to collect are all of the of different things you know about this. It doesn't even have to be your own country. It could be something you've heard about other countries. Well, Myrna's not even speaking either. I was asking her to speak just now and I couldn't hear her at all.
Actually, I've heard about Canadians that they are saying too much pardon and sorry. Even in some cases that they are not even the one who makes mistake. They keep saying pardon, pardon, sorry, or other things.
To mean something different to mistake, isn't it? If you say sorry, it's like a question mark, isn't it? Sorry. Is it that kind of sorry?
No, not that kind of sorry. In almost everything, like they even touch another person, they say sorry, pardon, or other things. And when they go another country, people look them a little bit different. Why you are saying too much sorry?
That's very interesting that you say that, because I noticed that with Monty Python. Have you seen and heard of Monty Python?
Yeah, I watched one of his movies and a few sketches.
The actual comedy sketches now, some of them don't seem to be dated and some of them are quite funny today, but one or two of them, well, actually quite a few of them, are very dated. And one of the reasons I thought was that they are too apologetic all the time, like that kind of polite middle-class apology all the time. And yes, I think if it's too much, it can be rather irritating, don't you think?
Yeah.
So,
if you're not get used to it, probably would be.
So apologies, that's interesting. Yes. So I mentioned handshaking. Any differences with handshaking culture? Let me ask. Let me just see if Roxana is there. Roxana, do you have anything to say about handshaking in particular? Do you know anything about handshaking?
Like to say hello, isn't it?
So how does handshaking work in your country?
In my country, hi, or how's it going?
And okay, so I mentioned that in England, you might shake hands with somebody when you are introduced the first time, but subsequent meetings, we don't shake hands. What about you?
In my country, is very informal. Here in Spain, it's informal to say hello, how are you, what are you doing, or something like that.
So, are you saying that in Spain you do shake hands with people regularly, the same person?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's something I found was a difference between England and some other countries, is that in England you shake hands with somebody when you are introduced to them, but the next time you meet them again, 2 days later, you just say hi or hello, and you don't shake hands. So how does that work in Spain? So is it the same for women and men?
Women give 2 kisses and men shake hands.
So even if they meet the same person they know the next day and the next day?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's something I can't get used to. It's very difficult to get used to that.
Yeah, because here people is not so formal.
Well, that's an interesting comment. That's an interesting comment. That's one. I think that's part of the problem, actually. You know, so comments like that, I think, are coloured with an interpretation. You know, because I think that when you say here people are not too formal, then does that mean that you believe that if an English person doesn't, if you come to England, people are not shaking hands with you because they're being formal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it, you see, that's the thing. Because actually these cultural differences are not that, I think. I think there's something built into the national psyche. Do you know this word psyche? Can anyone write it for me? See if I can find it in this dictionary. There we go. P-S-Y-Y-C-H-E. I just want to have a look at what it says in Cambridge here. Because I think that's a very interesting point that you said here people are not so formal.
No.
Because I don't think that that's really the case. I think that's not actually what's happening here. I think it's something different, and this is probably our own interpretation. The mind or the deepest thoughts, feelings or beliefs of a person or group. So I think people can be misunderstood. So let me tell you another example. This is a difference between my culture and not Latin Europeans, but more Arab countries. You know, when I stand next to somebody talking, in England we stand at a certain distance from that other person, which I find is the same distance in all of Europe, actually. Near enough, the same distance. It's about, if I put my hand out, let me put my hand out, my arm is stretched out, I would just touch their face. But in some cultures, in some Arab countries, if you speaking with them, they stand closer, and I feel slightly uncomfortable, and then I step back. Now they think maybe I'm a cold British person, very cold. But is that the right interpretation, or is that a cultural trap? Is that misinterpreting these cultural differences?
Actually, I don't know, is the stereotype or something, but when they say, they usually think that British people are cold and don't know how to make a joke.
Yeah, I think that all of these things are misinterpreting the fact that different people have different group feelings and different ways of behaving. So what might seem normal in one country isn't normal in another country. Every country is slightly different. And for me, I think this is part of the problem. We shouldn't really think that it's because of different... We shouldn't put our own values onto other people's values. That's what I'm saying. So what about standing distance? I mentioned that if you stand next to somebody speaking to them in a room, then you mustn't be too close. You mustn't be only maybe 20 or 30 centimeters from their face. Is that quite normal in your country, to be very close when you stand next to somebody?
It depends on the situation sometimes.
But it's better not to be near the person whom to talk to.
Where do you live, Hanin? Are you from Egypt?
Yes, in Algeria.
Algeria, yes, sorry, yeah, Algeria. So I mentioned that I think that people from Algeria stand closer together. Maybe the men stand closer face to face when they're standing next to each other than they do in England. What do you think? Is it true?
I didn't understand your question.
How close do people stand when they're talking to each other, one next to another?
Not too close and not too far from him. I think normally.
Yeah, but that not too close, not too far. That's something very subjective, which is part of the cultural behaviour of people. Now, yeah. So sometimes I think the distances can vary slightly.
If in the same local, it's enough to be near to him. But outside, it's not only to stand from front of him.
And are there any things which in your country are considered rude? but maybe not considered rude in other countries? Does anybody know any special things which are different in their country?
My country, it's better to not shake hand to guys. Even I'm girl, it's better to say hello without shake hand.
Without shaking hands?
Yes.
So people don't shake hands at all?
Except among my family, you know. But stranger one, it's better to talk, just to talk and be respectful.
So if I introduce people in Algeria, then probably I can just say hello and introduce them by name, and I don't shake hands.
You can't shake guys, but it's better to not shake.
You can't shake the guy's hands, but maybe not. You mustn't shake the hand of the women.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's exactly what I want to know, because I want to make a note of all of these things, because these are the kind of things which could lead to a kind of faux pas, something going wrong, and making a little mistake, and then before you know it, you start off on the wrong what? Start everything off on the wrong what?
On the wrong way? On the...
No, not on the wrong way. Start off on the wrong...
Path.
Behavior?
Well, path isn't quite the word I'm looking for. What's the word where... I mean, it's also something... If I make a faux pas, make a faux pas, let me say, just a moment, home, make a faux pas, then I put my in it.
It's in English or French?
It's English, yeah. There's lots of there are lots of French expressions in, well, apart from lots of words, French words in English and French, there are also quite a few fixed expressions, like for example, bon appetit. In English, you don't say good appetite. In Germany, you might say guten Appetit, but in English, you just say bon appetit. You don't say good appetite. And a faux pas is, there it is, you see in the English dictionary. So it is English, yes. People know it and understand this. If you make a faux pas, but sometimes, you know, you have to be careful with false friends. Do you know what a false friend is?
Yeah.
What is a false friend?
For example, doesn't mean currently means at the moment. No. Sorry.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So if you are a false friend, is something which.
Can I join the class?
Yeah, just join the class. We're talking. Just join the class. So we're speaking about cultural differences and things. And right now, I've just asked a question about what a false friend is. We're speaking about faux pas, and it's actually English, but it's French. So we have some expressions which and some words which are French.
It's looking
words.
for French.
Okay.
So what is a false friend?
I'm new to this site. I'm sorry.
Okay, Bashir, what can you help me with the question then? What is a false friend?
False friends.
False French.
Not false French, false friend. False friend. It's a term used in learning language.
It's a different meaning of that it's writing.
I understand.
What's that big noise? Okay, try and keep the noise down, everybody. Yeah, so for example, there's French words in English. Sometimes they are not the same meaning in French as they are in English. For example, fabricated is one. Now, fabricated in English does not have quite the same feeling and meaning as it does in French. So, it could be that you think you know it, but you don't. So, Roxana, do you know the difference between fabricated in English and French?
It's
Fabricated.
created.
It's a similar Italian.
Pardon, Ivan?
No,
No.
really, no, really.
It's similar. It's the same. The Italian expression, no?
Well, the English expression for it, or verb, to if something is fabricated or a complete fabrication is totally different to the French original meaning of the word, because the languages have developed hundreds of years separately. So they've split the meaning now, and this is a false friend, because you might think that you know from Italian or French what it means, but you don't, because in English it has a different meaning. So does anybody know the difference there?
Yeah.
What is the difference?
Uh,
So if I say en fabriqué and then fabricated in English, there's a difference in meaning.
no,
I don't know French.
Well, in French it just means made.
Fabriqué en
So,
French.
Like,
It just means like it's like if you say made in China, in French it would use the verb fabriquer, but you know in English it doesn't mean that. It means like deceptively kind of made up, not like a cheat. So your story was a pack of lies, a complete fabrication. So it's not the same.
Job or handmade. And
No, if something is made, we just say in English it was made. But if something is made up, you know, like a story, a pack of lies made up, then it's a fabrication.
okay.
So that's one false friend, and there are some others as well. And some words are used in different ways, so sometimes you have to be careful when you see a word from your language in English. Usually it's similar. Sometimes it's quite the same, but not always. Sometimes there are some differences. Anyway, can anyone else give me another one? We're speaking about what was my word anyway? Start off on the wrong what? Make a faux pas, put your what in it?
Foot.
Put your what in it. If you make a faux pas, you put something in it. Put your what in it. Foot. Foot. Yeah. Did you say foot?
Yes.
Put your, okay, sorry. I thought you were repeating put. The sound is so bad. Yeah. And then I just realised. Yeah, you said foot. Yeah. Okay. So any others? Any other kind of faux pas you might make in different countries that you've heard of, or differences in culture and they might be misinterpreted?
To be careful, to pay attention.
You have to be careful about these, or probably just knowledgeable of them. Sometimes they catch you out. They catch you out. If look, they catch you out. If you're caught out, it means you're taken by what? Taken by. If you are caught out, what? You're taken by something. What word is that? These things sometimes catch you out unaware, that you're taken by what? So the phrasal verb to be caught out is like taken by. It happened without you being aware of it. Taken by what?
To have a chat.
Taken by surprise. If you're taken by surprise, it means something happens and you didn't really, you weren't prepared and you were caught out. So, can anybody tell me another cultural difference that might catch people out? It doesn't even have to be your own country.
For me, it's quite interesting that the number of kisses, it depends of the country. Every country has a different number of kisses.
Yeah, in England, between men we have no kisses.
And hakeke, it's a
But
different.
within the family, with your relatives, you don't kiss them.
Well, I might kiss my mother on the cheek, maybe once, but I see lots of kissing in some countries, yes, and it's a bit confusing. And you know, you just imagine if you kissed a woman in the wrong country and it was absolutely a faux pas, you'd be really putting your foot in it.
Yep.
So yeah, kissing can be a really difficult one, can't it?
Yeah, and the number are different. It depends on the country. Here in Spain, we make 2 kisses.
And is it one on each cheek?
1 kiss in 1 cheek. Yep.
And is it left and right, and then right or left? I don't know.
First, in here, I tend first left and second right. Left and right.
Left, right, left, right, left, right. But no, just left, right.
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
Actually, I don't know.
Left, right. I think it's left, right.
Left, right, no? Yeah.
Well, you know, and if you don't understand some of this culture, you can really get in trouble, can't you?
Yeah.
So we've got kissing, handshaking, standing. Is there anything else?
Sorry, and Lebanon, I think 3 kisses. I saw
3 kisses where?
In Russia?
Russia.
Lebanon.
And Lebanon?
Yeah.
Well, I think if I go to Spain, it's always an even number of kisses, not 3, because it's left, right, but then the next woman, left, right, then the next woman, left, right.
I saw
Then
this
start
in
again.
the TV.
But that might be a faux pas. Sometimes there are some differences.
In my country, 2 keys, to right and to left.
2 right and 2 left.
No,
Wow, it's like a machine gun. And how fast is it? Like peck, 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 peck?
No, I say 2, not 4.
But I thought you said 2 on the right and 2 on the left.
No,
Here-
one for the left and 1 for the right.
So that's left and right, the same as Spain. So that's quite similar.
Here in Algeria, it may be far. When, for example, it's a long time to hold my hand or not, you know.
Yeah. Well, what more can we say about kissing? I wonder if we can speak about something else apart from kissing and handshaking. Is there anything interesting that people know about gifts, accepting gifts, or words that you have to say, or presents that you give, or anything really? What kind of things would you be advised to do? If you visit somebody, maybe there's different kinds of people as well, different people to visit. Sometimes you visit people who are relatives or friends and you stay with them. They offer hospitality, so you have to behave to them in a different way than maybe a business trip or just ordinary people in the street. So there's different situations. So who can mention another situation here? Maybe food as well, eating habits. And
About presents given.
tell me more then.
For example, I go to another house as a guest, isn't it?
Yeah, and then what?
It's worse to go without anything. So I have to.
Did you say
buy
worth
something.
or worse? Worth? Did you say worth?
It's bad.
Yeah, after it's. Let me just have a look at this English. I didn't quite catch it. It's worth to go without anything. Did you say that?
No.
What did you say?
Sorry. Yes,
Say
I
again.
said that, but I'm correcting it. But it's bad to go
Yeah,
without
because it's
anything.
not correct, is it? It's worth
Yes.
going. Always
I have to
when you say it's
correct.
worth, you have to say ing. It's worth.
Yes,
ing.
the worst
Yeah.
way is the worst situation is to go like this.
Yeah, that's right. It's worth going without any. It's not worth taking anything. It's not worth taking. Always with worth, you say ing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me what you're saying, though. I didn't quite catch the meaning of what you're saying. So you're speaking about giving gifts or things
Yes,
like
it's
this.
better to buy something before going as a guest, like cakes, drinks.
What if you
Anything.
didn't take anything? What would happen if you went to go somewhere? You were a guest. You went there and you didn't have any gifts. Would it be a faux pas?
Never, but it's shame.
So they would just accept it, but it's good to give gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Accept it, but it's good to give gifts. On the topic of gifts, can anybody tell me any possible mistakes people might make?
Bottle of wine.
For example, even if you don't like the gift, you have to pretend like you like it.
Yeah, you have to accept gifts gracefully, don't you? I think that must be common in the whole world, though, surely.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. But, you know, there are some very strange ones I've heard, but I don't know if they really exist in the world anymore. But a long time ago, there were some nomadic people who had stranger habits than other people who lived in cities and towns. I've even heard, for example, that one group of people consider it very polite to belch after every meal to prove that they're fully satisfied and they've really enjoyed their meal. They have to make a big belly noise. But if you make that noise in most cultures, you're considered very rude. So even, you know, you can find some very strange cultural differences in lots of different places. Generally speaking, there are differences between different people, aren't there? And I've heard that... do we have anybody from China here today? I can't see anybody from China in the room at the moment. But, for example, Chinese people need a lot of personal contact in business, for example, before they will sign a deal. They won't just get down, sign it, bottom line, money. They need to know and know the person personally. How much do you think personal interaction is important in your countries?
It is important here. You need connections to get a higher job. Not in all jobs, but especially in government, I think.
So could you just get a job in a company as a new boy and just go in and just interview, signed up, start next week? Is it not likely to happen that way?
No, you cannot get a higher job like a manager, being a manager or something, like without any degree or something, I think. You need something, but after that, slipping through all of the other competence, you need maybe connections.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So, maybe there are other things that people ought to think about when they go to visit your countries, maybe not just these cultural differences, but maybe there's something they ought to know and think about, any considerations at all. So, can we think of any other advice that everybody just think about advice that they would give to all foreigners? Look out for this, or be careful of that, be ready for this, it might be a problem. What do you think? Any kind of advice?
For example, in Spain, when people, when foreigners come here, especially in winter, here in this country, especially in Seville, isn't it? I don't know in another city, but in Seville, people get used to go bed late because people likes to go out to have a drink or to have some tapas and before to go home. And when I had someone who came from Manchester, she wants to go home early because she get used to go to bed early. But here it's not the same way. People goes to bed late.
So what time do you go to bed?
Around 11 or 12. It depends on the day because on the weekend we used to go to bed late, really late.
So 2 a.m. or something like this.
Because we go out and have some tapas or some drinks, and then we want to stay at home watching TV. Late.
So you see, you should really be advising me all about siesta, really, because I think it's related to that. Because, you know, if you have siesta, then you can stay up late.
Yeah, yeah.
I think siesta is a very good idea, but it's never really caught on in a big way in England. It's very unusual.
Yeah, but the siesta just lasts at least 10 or 15 minutes, no 2 hours or.
Oh, when I go across the water to Calais, sometimes the whole place is shut for 2 hours. You know, it's buzzing, like there's cars, traffic jams, everything like that. Then suddenly, hey, where's everybody gone? And then 2 hours later, they're all back.
Yeah, that's happening here all the time. And that helps you to feel better to start the second period of time in your job, at your job.
Oh, I think it's. I agree with. You don't have to convince me about the effectiveness and usefulness of siesta. I think it should be compulsory, really. You know, but it's a great idea. We just rush around too much.
Yeah, and when you get used to do that, you need it. Every day you need to have your siesta or your nap to continue your day.
Now, let me just interrupt you because I want to grammarize you here. When you've done it twice now, when you get used to do that, you're mixing up your two used tos. So there's I used to plus do, say, and then I am used to
you're right.
doing. So when you get used to doing that,
when you get used to doing that.
Yeah, well, I'd love to have siesta. I think it's a great idea. So there's another point, you see. That's what I'm looking for. So there must be millions of these things to recommend and point out. So not just warning people about things like cultural differences and possible faux pas, but just being aware of things. So do you have a siesta in Turkey, Furkan?
No, not siesta.
Nothing like that?
No.
Yeah, so I know Jose has a siesta because he's also in Spain.
No, I don't usually have a siesta.
Oh.
Just in summer when it's very hot and I didn't sleep well, I take a nap, but I don't usually have a nap.
Are you from Seville or not?
No, I'm living now. Actually, I'm living in Badajoz.
Okay, because in Seville, for the weather, the siesta is very important, and for the people as well, because people in Seville are very friendly and very happy and love to have dinner out.
They love to go out and they eat out often. I'm going to look for Seville, just a moment. Let's have a look at Google Maps, if I can find it here. So there I am, Canterbury, with the sea to the north, to the east, and to the south. So that's why the weather is so changeable here. So now I'm going to have a look for Seville.
Seville is in the south.
Now I need to go out. Ah, it's not so far from the sea.
No, not far.
Let's go out a bit more. Seville in the centre. Yeah. Ah, it's quite close to Gibraltar.
Yeah.
I've been to Alicante, but in winter, and it was nice there.
Alicante is really far from Seville, isn't it?
It is quite far, isn't it? It's right over east here, but Seville is. Yeah, I don't know Seville.
You must.
Yeah,
You should, because Seville is a great place. It's a magic.
we need Seville for marmalade because in our cooking culture we've been using Seville oranges for hundreds of years now. Because we have a lot of marmalade, and it's a special kind of marmalade that we make, and they need oranges. Do you have a lot of oranges to eat? I mean, do you eat marmalade in Seville?
Yeah, but I think orange juice is you can find more orange juice in Valencia. I'm not sure, but I think it's that the city of orange juice. I'm wrong. I'm not sure.
How do you get to Valencia? So which way do I go to get to Valencia? Yeah, there it is. Over there, I go to where it says Spain, and then out to the side there, Valencia. Yes. What do you think of Valencia compared to Seville? What's the difference?
I never been in Valencia.
Oh.
I don't know the other guy. What's the name of the other Spanish guy?
Jose.
Jose.
Yeah. I've never been to Valencia either.
So where are you from? Madrid?
Me? I'm from Barcelona, but nowadays I'm living in Badajoz. Badajoz is in the north of Seville.
Ah, so you do. So you're quite close then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah. Okay. So, what else can we say about this topic then? So we came by accident onto siesta, and different times of going to bed, different things like that. So let's speak more generally about cultural differences now. Tell me some things that you might think are different about your country.
I don't know in other countries, but in Spain, the weekend are very important for family, especially spend time with children.
Weekends have changed a lot in England. They used to be a bit sacred. For example, Sunday there wasn't shopping. The shops were all closed. But you can't say it's true today. It's half true. So it's a kind of holiday, but it's not really a holiday. The big supermarkets are all open, and lots of shops are open on Sundays and Saturdays and all the time. I don't think it's a good thing. I think the world is poorer for this. I think it's better to have a shutdown time. What do you think? Is it good to have a day when everything closes and no business, but family time?
Like Sundays?
Well, Sundays have changed a lot. I think in all of the Western countries. I think that there used to be a little bit more of a real event. Sundays were a special holiday time off, but now people go to work at weekends sometimes more than they used to. Shops are open. Sometimes I feel there's hardly any difference between Saturday and Sunday and the rest of the week. So, Roxana, you say that weekends are quite different to the rest of the week. And do you have, in every country, does it have a weekend on Saturday and Sunday, or are there different days? Because I think in some countries they have a whole different structure to the week. What is the weekly structure like?
Saturday and Sunday.
Well, what are Saturday and Sunday very much like any other day of the week?
Yeah, Saturday it's probably to go shopping and clean the house or and Sunday for the family, for the, go at your mother's or at your grandparents.
Yeah, when you go to. And when you get there, you are at.
Yeah, you go to the park with your children, or you go out to have lunch.
Go to the go to the park.
Go to the park, especially all the time. I think so. Especially in the spring or summer. In Seville is very hot, but in the spring it's a great time to go out.
Yeah, I think one of the things I've noticed that just a few people doing in England, they go to Spain, places like Valencia or Alicante or Seville. They go there in the winter. It's a good time to go in the winter because the winter weather is good there.
Yeah, the weather is amazing.
But the summer weather isn't so good because sometimes it's very hot and humid. But the winter is excellent. I remember once, winter was just like a spring day. It was quite warm actually. I was sitting on the beach in December with just a shirt on, no problem at all, and it felt very comfortable. So I think I would like to be a bird, and although the weather is not bad where I live, because I live in a nice little corner where the weather is not too bad, but sometimes, well, it gets cold, a little bit too cold for the winter months, about 0. Sometimes it's freezing, and sometimes we have a bit of ice and snow. So I think it would be nice to be a bird and emigrate, like the birds do. The birds all come to England in the summer and then go down to Africa in the winter. That's a good idea. But we're not free to travel, I think, so much. Roxana, have you been to England yet?
No yet, but I probably will in next summer.
If you go to England, take my advice and go to England, not London.
No,
I mean, go to London, but also go to England, because London is the world capital city. It's just really interesting place, and you know, it's a great city, but it doesn't show you England. What about your big cities, Barcelona, Madrid? Are they very Spanish?
Barcelona. I've been in Madrid and Barcelona, and I.
You're off then, I can see you later. Yeah, sorry, Roxana. Compared to, I say London is like a world capital city.
Yeah.
But would you say the same about Madrid, or would you say that Madrid is a very Spanish city?
I don't know, because I've never been in London, you know, but I would like
but
it.
You've been to Madrid, haven't you?
Yeah. I don't know.
If you go to Madrid, for example, if you go to London and you pick up 1,000 people from the electoral roll, that's the voting register, they will speak about 380 different languages.
Are you asking me about if here are a lot of natives?
Yeah, so is Madrid quite Spanish compared to London being international?
I think so.
I think that's not a bad thing. I think it's good. I think it's good to keep a lot of your culture. So that's why I worry a little bit about England losing a lot of its cultural identity. So more and more it's losing its cultural identity, and some English things can only be found in some small towns. But in Spain, maybe cultural identity is stronger within the country, even in Madrid. You think so?
I'm not sure.
So, what if you have to guess how many foreign people live in Madrid?
I'm not sure.
No idea.
No idea. No. No, but now I think about because of the economical situation in Spain, many foreigners come here to get a job. Like, for example, to give English class. Now in Seville, there are a lot of people, not native people, trying to learn Spanish and get some job given teaching English.
Yeah, well, I might be interested in that. I'd like to. I think it's impossible to get a job teaching English in Spain through the internet. It's very difficult. But if you have a contact and you know anybody, then I might be interested in speaking to people about that. That's very interesting. I'd like to go find out what they're doing over there, and I'd be interested. I'm just reading about marmalades, about norange. That's in Hungarian they say norange. So bitter ones are better for marmalade. Maybe those are Seville oranges are good for marmalade. I've heard this, and I know that when you make this good marmalade, you have to boil them up hard. So yeah, maybe those are the best ones. No, marmalade is not jam. Absolutely not. It's related, but it's they're both preserves and they're both in glass. But jam is a kind of fruit with sweetness in it, and marmalade is a special taste. It's not bitter, but it's not sweet. It's not exactly bitter, because when you say bitter, you think about lemon tasting or something like that. That kind of bitterness or sour. It's not like that, but it's not sweet. So it's a bit like bitter in the sense of not sweet, more savoury. Slightly savoury taste, not very sugary. There is sugar in it, but marmalade, yeah, marmalade, interesting. I love it. I love the thick, dark marmalade. And what is the rind? Do you know this word rind?
Right.
See if I can find it.
Right.
Ah, how do I spell it now? Yeah, look, here we are. Can you see on my screen here? Rind. The hard outer layer or covering of particular fruits. So when we have an orange, we talk about peel.
Yeah, right.
But when that peel is is inside the marmalade, it's not called peel. It's called rind.
The white part of the oranges?
You know, the orange peel goes into marmalade.
Marmalade.
So they don't take away the peel. The peel is cooked and put into the recipe. Do you ever eat the peel of the orange?
Peel?
The peel is the outside of the orange.
No, I never. Well, sometimes in a jam you can eat the...
You can eat it in sweets if it's cooked and made into some kind of crystals. And so in marmalade it's there.
Yeah.
Anyway, does anybody have anything to say before we say goodbye?
Nope.
Nice to meet you today, Roxana, and remember all of that pronunciation to work on. So you've got to work on your ch sounds, and you've got to work on the merger of fish tree.
Yeah, I have the link.
Yeah, try those and give me any feedback.
Thank you. See you next.
Actually, later I'm going to soon have a kind of sound file recorder on there, so that you can ask teachers what they think later. So see you all again, everybody.
Thanks for the lesson, teacher.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day. Bye.
See you later. See you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.